And to help us along in that respect, it's John Wayner of the Pittsburgh Pirates joining us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. John, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be talking because normally for me, I'm usually the last week, which means opening day's around the corner. So time to go.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you got a couple of games left here in Florida, and then you're off to St. Louis. You're in a unique situation in terms of your ability to comment on this, because there were some times during your playing career when you weren't sure, were you going to be with the big club, or here in these last couple of days you're sweating it out? Are you going to make the big roster, or are you going to go down to AAA? And there are some players on this Pirates team right now that are in that same position, aren't there?
Yes. Yeah. Ever since I took this job, I knew where I was going and when I was getting there, and that never happened for me when I played. I was always on the bubble and, not knowing if I was going with the big league team or off to AAA. And it's a nerve-wracking few days for these guys. And I have to assume they're going to be told today. They have to cut the roster down today to get to their final 28. And, it's a crazy time. You just go out there and you try to not think about it and just go out there and play the game. And I think they wait this long partially because of injuries and such. And like, for instance, Greg Allen, who probably would have been our opening day left fielder, looked like he might have pulled or at least tweaked a hamstring yesterday. So if he's not able to go opening day, that means one of these younger guys will get an opportunity and make the club, whereas if they made these decisions 1 or 2 or 3 days ago, they would have to send the guy down and then bring him back up. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think that's why they wait so long, just in case there is an injury or somebody does something like that. And but yeah, you want to know if you're on the bubble. You want to know as soon as possible. Not only because of it's your fate, and you want to be in the major leagues, not the minor leagues, but you also you might have family, and you need to know where you're going. Are you going to Indianapolis or Altoona or St. Louis, where the Pirates open?
Yeah. And it's interesting to me because I remember when you first came up as a member of the Pirates, I was sitting along the third baseline at Three Rivers Stadium, and you were a sensation when you first came up. And there was a pop foul ball over toward the rail, and I was sitting right there, and you came charging over at that thing. And I thought, that guy's not going to stop. And I could hear your feet pounding on that hard turf there at Three Rivers Stadium. And I thought, nope, he's coming right at me. You did pull up, which I was thankful for, because you would have absolutely leveled me. But the interesting thing about it was, when you get that chance, that opportunity as that young guy, you're going to do everything possible to stay up there, aren't you?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing. A lot of guys make it to the major leagues. Very few stay, and the major league career for most isn't a very long one. And, for me, I went back and forth for 11 years. And, I think only one of those 11 years was I up the entire year. So, yeah, you want to make the most of it. You want to go up there, and for one, you hope to get an opportunity to play. And when you do, you want to make the most of it. And, it's a tough job, especially for these younger guys. If they're going to make a team, like I look at a guy like Diego Castillo. He's not a household name. A lot of folks might not know who he is, but he's had a great spring, opened a lot of eyes. He had a run of 5 home runs and 9 at bats here recently. Yeah. And does he make the team? I don't know. He might, but in my opinion, if he makes the team, it would be an injustice to him if he doesn't play regularly. I mean, that's a tough chore for a guy like Castillo, who's played every day of every game of his life. He's never had to come off the bench and not get regular at bats. And so, if a guy like that, a lot of people say, "Why isn't he making the team?" Well, it doesn't do us any good or him any good if he makes the team and he doesn't play regularly. He's better served to go to the minor leagues and play every day if you don't think you're going to use him regularly here.
Yeah, and being a guy that is so versatile, we can play so many positions. Maybe that works in his favor, especially around third base, because we don't know the Key Brian Hayes situation at all yet, do we?
I hear he's going to be ready for opening day. We haven't seen him on the field in a week or so. They say it was just a tweaked ankle, that it's nothing severe, and he's been working on it on the backfields, and I'm not sure if he's gotten into any minor league games over at Pirate City or not. But as of yesterday, I heard they think he's going to make the trip north, and he'll be in lineup opening day. But being that we haven't seen him, there's a question mark there. We're hopeful that he'll be ready to go, and we'll see. I haven't saw a lineup yet for today. We'll see. Obviously, it would clear things up if we see him in the lineup today or tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right about that. This is an interesting team, the way that it's built right now, because you've got guys that have had some success at the major league level, but they're trying to hold off a wave of guys that are coming up behind them, the young fellas. And so, gentlemen like Kevin Newman at shortstop, he's got a lot of guys that are breathing down his neck trying to get that shortstop job away from him. And you've got some fellas around the rest of that infield. Michael Chavis is a guy that you think of who has great potential, but hasn't done it completely yet in the major leagues. There are some gentlemen who have some real opportunities with the Pirates, but they're going to have to come through and do so pretty quickly.
Yeah, a guy like Kevin Newman, I think they brought him back for a reason. They signed him early before the lockout. He struggled with the bat each of the last 2 years, but he was a Gold Glove finalist at shortstop. And I think with the young pitching staff, they like that stability over there defensively. And so I understand, where he's at. But yes, O'Neill Cruz, Leovar Peguero, there's other guys that are O'Neill Cruz was big talk early in the spring, but this guy is a little inexperienced and he needs more time, I think, in the minor leagues. And so we'll see him at some point. But, it might be Kevin Newman's job O'Neill Cruz is coming for. Mm-hmm. The veterans like Brian Reynolds and Ben Gamble and Roberto Perez behind the plate, and we got Yoshi and Vogelback that are pretty secure, and Hayes as well if healthy. So the open competition right now with Greg Allen, if he's not ready for the outfield, you got Hoy Park, you got Cole Tucker, Diego Castillo, like you said, Michael Chavis. And it'll be interesting to see not only who makes the club, but who's going to be in that lineup opening day, who's going to get the regular at-bats. And there are, the one thing I love about spring training, I'd say it every year, is there's a lot of young talent in the minor leagues that are knocking down the door. I mean, Bly Madris has had a great spring. He's an outfielder. You've got guys like Cal Mitchell and Kanan Smith and Jigba, the outfielders. There's so many guys, not to mention the infielders that like Peguero and Cruz and Nick Gonzalez. And it's an exciting time for these young guys. We got to see a glimpse of them. They're going to go out there and play. Some are getting, to the higher levels, which means they're closer to the big league clubs. So, it's, unless you're, an everyday guy, like an all-star, like Brian Reynolds, who knows how safe your job is here in the next couple years.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I was talking with Greg on Friday, and I said there's so many new guys on the broadcast team too, fellows that have been contributing, and certainly you get to know from a broadcast standpoint guys like Matt Capps and Kevin Young and those guys, and Neil Walker has done some games. And I asked Greg, I said, do the young guys, like the rookies on the baseball team, do they have to carry the bags for the older guys? And he said, ask Wayner if he's carrying Joe Block's bags. But I think you're a veteran, John. I think you're safe there. You can have them carry yours.
Oh man, yeah, no, we don't do any of that silliness. But we brought in some great guys. Very knowledgeable guys. Matt Capps has stepped right in, and man, he's a natural, as is Neil Walker and Kevin Young. It's what's funny is, for me, they're helping me. I mean, I've always done road games, and now because of those guys, Capps spends a lot of time in Atlanta, Kevin Young a lot of times in Arizona. So it doesn't look like I'll be going to the West Coast anymore because of Kevin Young. I doubt I'll go to Atlanta or Miami or anywhere down south because of Matt Capps. So I get to do more home games at PNC Park, the most beautiful park in the country. So I appreciate those guys. I'm not going to make anyone carry my bags, and I certainly am not carrying anybody else's bags. But we have a great group. I mean, we all get along so well, and We like to go out and have dinner together. We just did that the other day, and they just fit right in with the rest of us.
Yeah, and of course, from the past couple of years, just to be able to go on the road and do a ball game is something special too. Hey, John, I want to thank you for being with us. We're going to talk with you again on Wednesday, and that'll be it from the spring training reports as we talk Pirates baseball. Thanks for being with us today.
Always a pleasure. Look forward to Wednesday. Take care.
You too. We'll see you. There's John Wehner for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And